Yep, get him. Another little bass. It is pretty deep right there. Welcome back, everybody. So today we are fishing with Ultra Finesse stuff. This is a brand new bait from Japan. I did use this the other day just to kind of test it out a little bit. So I'll show some of the clips from that. But yeah, brand new bait. It's incredibly windy and cold. So not able to get out into the mini boat or the kayak. So we're gonna see if we can't catch some fish from shore. We are still doing that lure giveaway box, so make sure to stay to the end of the video to hear more about that. But we'll drop some clips from what happened the other day with this guy opening and everything else like that, and see if we can't catch some fish today. Let's get after it. So we're fishing with a lure I have never fished before. I've never even seen before. Got this from Japan. Appreciate the person who sent it on over to me very much. But it is the ECOGEAR AQUA. It looks like it's a 2-inch soft plastic. It kind of reminds me of GULP, like we have over here in the States. It's in this weird fluid. Hopefully that doesn't smell too much, but it'll be interesting. And if the fish are eating finesse, I think we can catch everything under the sun on this thing, from tiny little bluegill and perch, crappie, what have you, to potentially bass. But let's crack this thing open and see if we can't catch a couple. So they've got some very interesting packaging. It says to pull here. Oh gosh. All right. Seems easy enough so far. Some of the GULP stuff that I've used before does leak, so hopefully that's not the case with this. It did leak a little bit through the zipper. So this might be a one and done kind of lure or bait. What does she smell like? It doesn't smell awful. I don't know. It smells kind of like a pet store. Kind of like an aquarium. But this is what they look like. They kind of have the same texture as a GULP lure too. Kind of that weird rubber gel-like. Yeah, they don't smell too bad. They smell a little off, but there we go. Hopefully that does not leak all over the boat. But let's throw this thing on. We are fishing with the ultralight, or the light rod again today, with a tiny little hook. One of the smallest drop shots I've ever seen in my life, to see if we can't catch a couple. There we go. Well, they're pretty simple. Might be able to upscale our hook just a little bit, but let's start chucking this thing out there and see if we can't catch a couple. Hopefully not get it everywhere. I already accidentally wiped some on me, but yeah. All right, let's see if we can't catch a couple. Yeah, one. Only took all day long. A little bluegill. Not a little bluegill. A big old bluegill. Holy cow. Look at how fat that thing is. Good gracious. Oh, and we lost our bait. Give me back my hook. That's over a 9. It's probably 9.5. That is a monster bluegill on the little Japanese ant. See if we can't hook it again. Took us all day long to get a bite. But finally, maybe we'll get a couple more before dark. That one wasn't very aggressive at all. You just felt a little bit of weight, and there she was. There's one. Get him. What are you, a bass, or? The other day we caught a big old bluegill. I'm gonna say it's more likely to be a bass. Yes, it is. Baby little bass. It's always fun on the ultralight though. I always call this rod an ultralight. It's technically a light. On the little baby EWG, the little ant. Look at that. I didn't intend on fishing this lure today, but similar to GULP and stuff like that, the zippers that they come in aren't usually the greatest, so it was leaking everywhere. I already have it all over my hands and everything else like that. So yeah, we're gonna probably have this as a one and done sort of deal. But so far we've got a big old bluegill and a tiny little bass. I'm sure there are gonna be many more little bass that bite, but which will be good for somebody, because that'll just guarantee another lure going in the box, I'm sure. There's one. Yep. Get him. Another little bass. It is pretty deep right there. He bit very, very close to shore, and that was still. I've got a pretty decent leader on there, and I still couldn't see him. Oh boy! Don't break. It's not a smart decision, but got it done. They are getting so cold. Still biting though. Little guy. Probably just about a pound. But again, everything on a lighter, ultralight rod. It's just so much fun. And sometimes in fall, when the water's dropping, I think the water's in the mid 40s right now, when I had live scope out the other day. So it is getting quite cold. Ice fishing won't be too terribly far away, but sometimes when the water's that cold, you have to go absolutely tiny finesse. I do have a few other lures I want to use yet this fall, so hopefully the fish still are agreeable to cooperate for a little while longer. There's one. Oh, missed him. There's one. Oh, missed him again. Wonder if some of these aren't bluegill, just grabbing at the legs. There's one. Get him. Don't come off, buddy. Little bass. They've all been right next to shore. Not necessarily next to shore. There's a bit of a drop off right offshore, a couple feet. And even though we're just messing around fishing for these little guys, I guess there is something to be able to learn from that. So, and I very much believe it's because we've got fall, cold weather, and a fair amount of sun today, that these fish are not necessarily shallow, but on shallow rocks, because that is staying a little bit warmer probably than the rest of the water. So they haven't truly transitioned yet, which I would assume they'd still have a little while to go before they end up doing that for winter. But just something to note for the next time that we go out, to see if we can't find that yet again, because they haven't transitioned, but shallower rocks might be a little bit easier for us to find fish on another lake potentially. But we've caught a couple fish here, so let's go try another lake or a pond to not necessarily catch anything bigger, but at least have a shot of catching something over 12 inches. Well, that is it for today. That caps off two of some of the worst trips that I've had all fall by far. Went to a number of different lakes, couldn't buy a bite to save my life, and I don't know if that says something about the fishing or that I'm off-let fishing. Both of them are possible. But I was glad for, I guess, the couple of bites that we had this morning, but I threw a drop shot with a robo worm and couldn't get a bite to save my life, so it might just be today. But nevertheless, let's get back to the house and go ahead and talk about our little lure, and then put another lure in the box. Well, we are back home after what is likely two of the roughest days I've had fishing in fall, I think, this year. I could be wrong, but it was absolutely awful. Doesn't matter what lures I threw. Obviously, this video was about this JDM Finesse bait, but it was just absolutely terrible. I think we fished for about 8 hours, and you guys saw every fish that we caught. So pretty terrible. Yeah, hopefully that does not continue. I don't know if it was the weather necessarily or what, but hopefully it gets better from here. That being said, we fished today with this Finesse bait from Japan. I think it's the ECOGEAR AQUA. I don't know. It's supposed to be in a bug ant-like pattern. A little tiny creature bait, basically. This reminded me so much of GULP. It wasn't even funny. I don't know how long this has been out there. Maybe GULP took the idea from here and ran with it, or I don't know if it was vice versa, but it reminded me a ton of GULP. It felt like GULP. It smelled like GULP. It spilled like GULP. So yeah, if you're a fan of GULP, which I'm personally not, and you want to go ahead and throw something that the fish have definitely never seen before, might be something to look into. But we used the red ones and the bags leaked just like, you know, most GULP products do. So yeah, I think it was kind of a one and done sort of deal. I might use this green one potentially in ice fishing because it's a pretty decent size for that sort of thing. Maybe like some trout or some small bass or something like that. We did catch the biggest bluegill that I've caught recently on this, which I was pretty shocked about. So that was great, but we might try and use this at some point in time during the ice fishing season. But yeah, interesting. If you guys are new to the channel, though, we are still doing our lure giveaway box. As far as the way that it's going to play out is it is a series format. So basically, we've been doing this for a while now. Up until December 1st, every video that we do not catch a 4-pound bass, we put a lure in the box. And then either December 1st or sooner, whenever we catch that 4-pounder is when we'll be giving away, and we will be giving away over on Instagram. So make sure to like, comment, share, follow along. So one, you know what's in the box, and two, when we're giving away, because I don't even know. Hopefully it's relatively soon because I haven't caught very many big fish lately. So, and I guess if I don't, it'll be December 1st when we're giving away, and there will be a ton of lures in there. So either way, I guess good for everybody. That being said, we did not catch anything remotely close to 4 pounds today, so we have to go ahead and put another lure in the box. Going along with the theme of being very, very tough fishing, I don't think I've put a ton of lures in the box that are finesse right now, so figured might as well go ahead and do that in case whoever gets this does experience some tough fishing. Hopefully that doesn't happen, but it's bound to. So, I think I've used the TRD minnows from Z-Man once or twice before, just on a jig head or, I think drop shot Ned rig is kind of how I've used it before, and it catches fish. Most people love the Z-Man because it is so incredibly durable. So, yeah, go ahead and put that in the box. Our box is getting wildly, wildly full, overfilling. I've procrastinated for way too long trying to find a bigger box, but yeah, we have quite a bit of stuff in there. So make sure to, again, like, share, comment, follow along so you know what's in there and when we're giving away. Again, hopefully it's sometime soon because I haven't caught a decent fish in a bit. But nevertheless, if you guys like the video, if you wouldn't mind liking, and if you want to see more videos like it, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, that'd be greatly appreciated also. Until the next one.